Obligatory podcast intro.
Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. I'm Matt with my co-host Adam, and this show is where we take all 45 letters of the alphabet, we put them in a boot, we each draw a letter, and then pick a comic that begins with that letter. I don't know his, he does not know mine. Spoilers ahead for both of these comics for sure. And if so inclined, you can visit us at Instagram at Flipping Pages 24 and Facebook at Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. Come by, say hi. So we got I messed up last week, so we drew letters. I have chicken scratch handwriting, so
You did them fast.
and I did them very quick a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I drew what I thought was an E, and I just did an E like 2 episodes ago, so I'm an idiot.
We forgot when we drew it.
Yep, I just saw it. But it was actually an M. And like I said, my writing was horrible.
Yeah.
So I actually did M, and he did A, which we found was correct. So it was just me and my terrible writing. I thought it was an E.
Small mix-up.
Didn't even think about it. So yeah, M and A.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. So, like I said, I got A.
I said that.
It took me a little bit to find this one, but eventually I found this comic called Aztek, spelled A-Z-T-E-K. The subheading is Aztek, the Ultimate Man. And then there's another subheading that says A Hero for the New Millennium. I was like, oh, this came out in 99 or whatever. And I checked. It came out in 96. So, I thought that was weird, but I hadn't actually seen the bottom. I didn't pay attention to the bottom of the comic. And in the bottom of the comic, it says, if he lives that long. So I was like, oh, that makes more sense now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I get it. It's a joke.
Yeah.
I felt kind of dumb after looking it up, and then because I didn't notice the last of it. I was like, oh, I'm dumb.
I mean, it's like 4 years. You probably make it.
It's not a big deal. Yeah. So this is from DC. It came out in 1996. It was actually written by Grant Morrison and Mark Miller.
Oh.
They co-wrote it.
Both?
Yeah, I don't know if
both of them.
They collaborated on everything, every issue, or they switched off issues. They don't tell you. So I like I said, always say I didn't do deep research at all, of course, as usual.
Because we don't.
But it didn't. Their names were sometimes switched in order, so maybe that was an indication of who was writing which one. I don't know.
Right.
That's the only difference I could tell.
How many issues?
I think total there was 10 issues. I read 5.
Okay.
And because that completes a little mini arc, they normally do. It's usually 5 or 6 or
good
whatever.
halfway point. Yeah.
Exactly. So I read 5 of them. I saw the name Grant Morrison and Mark Miller, and I saw the art, and I thought it was way more recent. At first,
Didn't it look like 96?
No, not at first. Now, after I've read a bunch of it, I guess I could be like, yeah, it seems like. But
looks
to be honest, it was ahead of its time. This comic was ahead of its time. I don't know if I've ever even said that on this
draw
before.
comics like it's 1999.
It's 96, so we're going to draw like it's 99.
Exactly.
Nice, 3 years ahead.
Post-millennial.
I didn't say the artist. The artist is Harris, and then I think Champagne.
Harris and Champagne?
Yeah, just last names. I think Champagne might be colors, and Harris is the artist. If I'm
just Harris.
Like I said, that's just their last name.
Oh, that's all. That's all they put. Just Harris.
Yeah.
And Champagne?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the cover says Morrison, Miller, Harris, Champagne.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't say Grant Morrison, Mark Miller. It's literally just last names.
Got it.
Yeah, I should have specified. So our first page is a full page picture, and it's a creation of this comic book, but he's supposed to mimic comic book supervillains from the 60s. So this is 96, so 30 years or less since he was big and popular. But they just made him up for the comic.
Okay.
So he's not actually, he's supposed to mimic somebody that was should have been around at that time. His name is Pied Piper, and his gimmick is he smokes a pipe. Yeah, and he's got a bunch of little baby robot pipes that are the size of a pipe, like a tobacco pipe.
Yeah.
And they have arms and legs, and they talk like they have personalities and shit, but they're robots. And they're his little minions, and they run around and do his bidding. And his thing is he releases gas from his pipe, so he can release all sorts of different kinds of gases.
So this is the comics comic? You said it's inside the comic. He's showing someone make this comic.
Yeah, no. So I'm saying like they made him up for this comic.
Oh.
As in like they're pretending like he's a character that's been around in DC.
Oh, got it.
They're like retroactively being like, yeah, no, this is a guy
Pied
from
Piper's
the
been
60s.
around.
Yeah.
Got it.
You just don't remember him.
Yeah.
And I found out looking this up, there was a supervillain also known as Pied Piper who became a superhero.
And he looks someone named Pied Piper.
He looks like Robin Hood or whatever. Whatever the normal depictions of a Pied Piper.
That's exactly how I pictured him.
Yeah. So this guy looks more like, I don't know, when Ant-Man was his other character. What was his other? He became Hornet or whatever. For a while,
Hornet, yeah,
or whatever he was. His other costume with the big like collar or
I think it is
shoulder
Hornet,
pad things and like a helmet. It just looks like a helmet with like a little visor. Looks terrible. He's green and black and turquoise, basically.
Weird.
So he pops up in a bank. Oh no! Before he pops up in the bank, they see he's being blackmailed by this group of hoodlums, the organized crime family. In a city called Vanity. This is the first introduction to this city that was invented for this comic. They don't say if it's California, they say it's a West Coast city.
Oh, right.
And it's like Gotham. It's the West Coast Gotham.
Really?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Except, you know how in Gotham, everybody's like, oh, it would be terrible to live in Gotham. Like, it seems dreary and like blah, blah, blah. Well, in this city, there's an actual palpable issue. It seems like it's a magical problem where everyone's on edge at all times, and it messes with your mood and your emotions and stuff because it keeps getting mentioned a bunch of times.
Is it bright and sunny there?
Oh, it's daytime and stuff.
Okay,
yeah. It's not always dark or nothing, but like it's like Gotham on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's probably the same amount of crime as Gotham, but everybody's like on edge. Like even nice people go crazy there. Is
weird.
What they say. So this is like a cursed city, and that's very important with our story. That's why I brought it up.
Side note. Okay.
Yeah. So the whole point. Let me finish up with Pied Piper. He's getting blackmailed by a crime organization. They kidnapped his daughter, and they want him to go rob a bank, basically, and be bait. They want him to be bait for a character called Blood Type, who's a mercenary. He's like Punisher, kind of.
Blood Type.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. They don't start, like I said, they started with Pied Piper, and now we jump over to our main character, and it's not a full backstory. He just kind of is in the city. You're picking up with him coming to the city called Vanity.
Mm-hmm. And
he was born in South America. He was trained. He's kind of like Iron Fist. He was trained by like monks and stuff to be like perfect and be able to like meditate really like well and stuff. Like that was his whole thing, was like meditating and becoming a perfect human. So he's not genetically superior to anybody. He didn't get a serum. He didn't eat a plant. He just did like peak human performance, in air quotes. He went through all this training. And they were like, you're going to be like the chosen one. You're going to be our chosen one. So you're going to go through all this training. You're 19 years old now. He's only 19 during this story, by the way. That's kind of important. He's 19. And they're like, all right, so now you're going through the last little initiation chronicles. And then we're going to give you the helmet from our god. And we're going to explain our whole deal to you. Because he didn't understand exactly what was going on.
All right.
So his helmet looks dumb. So dumb. He looks kind of like Hawkman, but with a bunch of ears coming off.
Oh.
But they look more like sun rays, kind of. It's just bad. Like Electro. He looks. If you were far away,
the big lightning bolts,
you would be like, "Oh, that's Electro." If this was Marvel and this dude went to Marvel, people would be like, "Hey, Electro, what's up?"
Yeah.
Dude? But he looks dumb. He's
like hand him the helmet. He's like, "This is it."
Yeah.
Like,
so the helmet is his superpowers.
Yeah. Right.
The helmet comes from another dimension or a higher dimension where their god is from and where the devil is from. So this dude is based on Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent from South America.
It's crazy how often you get to bring the serpent up. Like, this is like the third or fourth time you've mentioned.
Well, I talked about Quetzalcoatl the other day, which is just a giant pterodon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does I like it. Genuinely, I love the name. And
I think, yeah, you like saying it.
I love saying it, and just the fact that it's a giraffe that flies, that's pretty crazy.
That is insane.
Let me get back on track. So his cool mask, comes from another universe given to them by Quetzalcoatl. That's what they think or they believe or whatever. And he's the chosen one to fight the... they call him like the shadow god or shadow serpent, or they use like 8 different descriptors.
That means he's pretty bad when he has multiple
Yeah,
names.
so like they've been around for so long that they, end up going through names, I guess.
Yeah.
So his helmet gives him actual like superpowers. It's just a helmet. He puts the helmet on and kind of like nanotech comes out from the helmet and puts a giant suit onto him.
Okay.
He's like
Is the suit bad too?
not as bad. Definitely not as bad as the helmet. It's white and yellow or white and gold, and it's pretty simple-ish actually. But he's got like feathered, like in between his arms that look kind of silly, and his helmet pretty much ruins it. But the rest of it's so simple that they couldn't fuck it up.
Is it insensitive? I know he's South American.
Yeah. Oh no, it's actually pretty good.
Nice.
They're actually really good about that.
Yeah, well, I forgot you said South American, so I was like, I'm waiting for you to be like, so this white dude.
He is white. He's white as hell. Yeah,
but they say
he's
from
blonde as hell.
South America.
Well,
he's blonde?
His family, I'm pretty sure. No, his grandpa was there too. So like his whole lineage was training to be this guy.
So it is okay.
So like, yeah. But he's
90s.
a blonde guy,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
there's plenty of blonde people in South America. Especially South America, even more
They're
in
like,
Central America.
you made them South American? And they're like, yes, sir. And they're like, make them white, blonde.
You can't do both. Yeah.
Were you going to make him brown with black hair? I was.
Yeah, you were. Okay,
No.
cool. But he has to be white then.
One or the other.
Yeah, you can't do both.
Yeah, white. Make
Only
him white.
so much diversity.
You just say he's from South America.
This is 96,
It's 96,
too.
exactly.
So, he's like rolling around. Like I said, you didn't get his real backstory yet. He's kind of like, I trained a lot and meditated in South America to become this hero. He had never been to a American city at all, let alone a big city.
Yeah.
And even in South America, he was up in the mountains training.
Right.
So he didn't even like live in a town or a village.
Yeah.
He lived up in a monastery, which is, you know what I mean? Like one building or whatever.
Yeah, separate from damn near everything.
And the people around him were like in this crazy cult, whatever. It's cult of Q. They just call it Q for Quetzalcoatl.
So has no social life.
None whatsoever. And he's only 19.
Yeah.
He's only 19. So
wait till he sees a chick for the first
oh,
time.
dude, he does. It's cool. That's why I was like his age comes into factor here in a minute.
Yeah.
So he's like rolling around the city. Oh, I'm new to the city. I don't have an ID. I don't have money. How am I gonna make it? So he's just kind of like dicking around trying to find a job. He's kind of hanging out, and he's at like a bank, or I guess it's got to be a bank if they're robbing it. So the Pied Piper pops up out of nowhere, and he's like got this ridiculous little monologue at the beginning. The maestro at work today, you know what I mean? The prodigious Piper. And so like he's just like hamming it up. He's a 60s villain, and he's got all these little tiny pipes that are robots.
That's so
They're
weak.
shaped like a tobacco pipe, like
They
an
should have
old
been
man.
snakes.
Yeah, it would have made So
Snakes,
they thought it was funny, the Piper being smoking pipe.
Right.
They obviously thought this was very funny.
Yeah.
So his little pipes are robots, and they run around gassing everybody, knocking everybody out. That's like his whole deal.
Yeah.
Is he gasses people.
It's the one thing I can do.
Yeah, exactly. He's old too. I think he's supposed to be like 60 or something in it. He was supposed to be around popular in the 60s, and this is 96.
Yeah.
So he's like robbing this bank, and Blood Type, which is a vigilante in this city of Vanity. That kind of rhymed. Who's like Punisher kind of. He's like a lower tech Iron Man Punisher type guy.
He's got like a suit. Or
Oh
something?
yeah, a little
Okay.
bit of a suit, like more just like gauntlets and like some stuff. And he pops up and he's like, "You're fucked." He has no chill. He's like the Punisher, like you're asking
really?
for
He's
it.
like it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he's like he has no chill. The guy's like he instantly jumps on the guy and breaks his nose, and then he punches him in the ribs and breaks his ribs. And then the Pied Piper hits the ground And he's like, "You've broken my ribs and my nose. Oh my God, I didn't want to even do this."
You're doing it wrong.
Because he got, like I said, he was
he's made to.
getting blackmailed. He didn't want to do any of this. And then Pied Piper's on the ground like, "Please just take me to jail or whatever." And Blood Type's like, no. And he puts his like arm gauntlet. He's about to shoot him. And then Aztek pops up. He was in that bank too. So there was the Pied Piper here. And then Blood Type was here. And then Aztek was all here. Out of character, like hidden or whatever,
just doing their regular business.
And then I realized, they sent Pied Piper there on purpose because Blood Type was there. That was the whole point.
Oh, they wanted to distract him, right?
Yeah, they were doing some shit with they wanted to kill him and take him out of the picture so like the crime families could operate. Basically,
right?
They're trying to get him out of the picture
because he's obviously messing them.
He's
up.
like one of the best vigilantes in town, basically.
Nice. Okay.
And he's messing up the crime families. So, like, they had this whole plan. Like, it was ridiculous. They do something with Piper, and then, like, he was either going to be able to actually take out Blood Type, or it's not even super clear. Like, I'm not being vague, or I just thought the plan kind of didn't make sense. I was like, so was Pied Piper supposed to actually kill him? Like, and, like, was he... Because they didn't know Aztek was there to fight him.
Yeah, they wouldn't expect
So they were maybe
that.
trying to disgrace Blood Type. They were trying to get him out of the picture.
Maybe one of them was going to kill the other one.
They were hoping for something.
Right.
So they were trying, like I said, the best way for me to say is they wanted him out of the picture one way or the other. They had some scheming
But nothing
plan.
happens to Blood Type. He just gets back to work, right?
I would imagine.
Yeah, he don't go to jail.
Or he might.
Nothing.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what their whole plan was.
I mean,
so like, Blood Type's about to kill Pied Piper, and Aztek pops up and he's like, "Hey, don't kill that guy. Take him to jail. You're supposed to be a good guy, whatever." And he's like, "This guy's
fucking
scum.
old too.
This guy's this guy's scum. He needs to die." And so Aztek hits him, stops him from shooting him, punches him really far, and Blood Type flies back. And they fight for a second, and they're fighting, and during that fight, Blood Type stops fighting Aztek and kills Pied Piper as he's running away.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they were in the middle of, like, a fight, and he still, like, took the time to kill Pied Piper. Yeah, Pied Piper dies right here. So Aztek fights Blood Type, and he gets the advantage, and he's, like, kind of whooping him pretty good. And then he, like, tasers him really well. Mm-hmm. He uses, like, a cord taser, like an ultra taser, and it makes him tense up. He has a grand mal seizure, and it makes all his weapons fire, and it, like, blows up the ground under him. It kind of knocks him out, basically. Oh. It was really cool.
That's how Isaac Hayes died in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. He loaded up all his guns, and he tripped and fell, and then just shot everything up.
So Aztek goes over to Pied Piper, and Pied Piper is like, as he's dying, he's like, tells him what his name is. It's Curtis. It was a weird last name. Curtis Falconer, which sounds like the worst fake name I've ever heard. Ever.
Why wouldn't you go the Falcon route with your...
Made zero sense. Curtis Falconer. So he goes, "I'm Curtis Falconer. I was supposed to start... actually a doctor. I was supposed to start a job." And he tells him what hospital he was supposed to start a job the next day. And he goes, "I didn't want to do any of this. My daughter got kidnapped. Could you save my daughter, please? Help me, whatever." And he's like... and just dies. And Aztek's like, wow, he spilled his guts like in 15 seconds. Like, that was crazy. So
Blood Type's like, I ain't doing any of that shit.
Right. So like he's holding him, and Pied Piper's dying still. And Aztek's like, "Hey, tell your little robot guy to chill out," because one of the little pipe guys comes up. And he goes, "That's not one of mine." And then he goes, "What?" And then there's a giant explosion, like a big one.
Yeah.
Blood Type's leg and arm on the right side get completely blown off.
Oh, damn.
They say, and he's in the hospital, and they're like, "Take his helmet off." And they go, "We can't take his helmet off. It's the only thing holding his head on," or whatever. And so, like, they're trying to save him, kind of. But none of these people really seem to like Blood Type. Everybody's like, he's a psycho. Like, they all... Like, the Punisher would be mostly in universe, at least, you know what I mean? So, like, they're trying to help him, but mostly they're just trying to help everybody else that got injured in the explosion. They're kind of like, screw this guy. He's going to die. Right. So, Aztek goes to the hospital because he, like, was there. or whatever, and like he changed out of his outfit or whatever and left, and somebody was like, "Oh, you came out of the explosion, you need to go to the hospital." So he ends up at the hospital that Curtis Connor worked at. Not Curtis Connor. Jesus Christ. Kurt Falconer.
Kurt Falconer.
Yeah. He goes to that hospital, and I was like, "Oh, he drove there." But then when you see, no, like he was like taken there. What the hell? That's so dumb. And so he shows up at the hospital that the Kurt guy was supposed to start at, and he's like walking around, and then he does some mumbo jumbo with his hands and heals a lady, and people see this, and then it's never mentioned again.
Aztek does?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Not once again do they mention that how he was able to heal someone.
Does like some magic
Yeah,
shit?
like they like glows around their body and they're healed. I was like, oh, cool. I mean, so he's a healer. That's
you got 5 more issues, so maybe it comes back up.
Yeah, this is going slow actually. Blood type dies, and Kurt's walking around helping. He helps a lady, and people see, and they're like, "Yay! That guy helped her somehow." They don't say with magic or anything. They just go like, "He helped her."
He did something.
One of the nurses comes over and goes, "What's going on here? Who are you? What are you doing to my patients or whatever?" And he goes, "I'm Kurt Falconer. I'm a new doctor here." And she was like, "Oh, cool. Welcome to the hospital." There's no checking IDs or nothing. She's just like, "Oh, cool. Welcome
Good luck."
Welcome to the hospital. And so we get our first look at the Q group, the people that trained Aztek and sent them here.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in like their base in South America, I guess. Underground in the mountains. It's up in the mountains. Never mind. And they're talking about Aztek's progress. They're like, he's established a job. He's already been practicing his superhero stuff. He's doing everything perfect. Like he's accomplishing his mission. One guy's like, well, shouldn't he just not get a job that'll like maybe he gets found out because he's taking a dead man's name? Like he can't just sit around and twiddle his thumbs until the shadow serpent or shadow god comes. They're like, this is perfect. He has no interacting skills. He needs to learn to interact with people, so this is perfect. Don't tell him to stop. We need him to do this.
So no one on the news heard that this character Pied Piper died, who happens to be named Kurt Falconer.
Yeah.
While Kurt Falconer just showed up to work on Monday.
So here in like an issue or two, that kind of
does
up.
it? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go a little bit quicker because that was only the first issue, and I do want to kind of get through the story.
All right.
So this next issue,
buckle up.
Right? Yeah. So on the cover of the next issue, you got Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Major Force, the bad guy with like the pink and orange and whatnot layers. He's like looks like a sherbet or some shit. Yeah, they're on the cover. So I was like, oh, Kyle Rayner's by far my favorite. Green Lantern. Like he was the only one that I read the comics when they were actually coming out. I read all those, not all of them. I didn't read a whole bunch of DC growing up, but I had 6 or 7 Green Lantern with Kyle Rayner in it.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That's your shit.
I loved it. So these thieves are in a store stealing stuff with like gas masks, and they're like, this is great. Blood type's gone. He was like the major vigilante for Vanity City. So now that blood type's gone, everybody's going wild. Everybody's going buck wild, especially street level.
Right.
Especially street level crooks. They're like, oh man, we got running the city. The cops are spread thin. They can't get everywhere. We're set. And so they're this. They look like AIM in their suits.
Yeah.
They're yellow with boxy heads and whatnot.
All right.
They literally look like AIM, and they're doing dumb AIM shit like robbing stores and shit with their knockout gas. Way overkill for robbing a store.
Right.
So as they're leaving, Major Force is outside and stops them, and he doesn't kill them. He just gives them a message to tell the crime family that he needs to speak with them. So the crime family is like, fuck, we knew if we got rid of blood types, other people would come in and either try to be superheroes or muscle in on our game or whatever. And then they're like, have we seen any new move-ins? And they start talking about Aztek. They're like, there's this new guy, Aztek. We think he's a superhero. We're not positive. We don't know what his deal is.
Pretty strong. Terrible helmet.
Yeah, and at this point, he doesn't have a name yet because he didn't want to be a superhero.
Yeah, right.
Really, he's just there on the mission, and he doesn't even pick the name Aztek. The newspapers give him that name.
Right. Kurt
And then
Falconer.
they put the K in there. They're like, that's for the technology, and I go, what? I was like, well, technology has a C in it. And I'd say that. They're like, we'll put the K to make it because of all the cool technology you got. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then in my head, I was like, wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Technology's got a C. What the fuck?
It's weird.
It already had a C. So the gang's like, oh, crap. The crime family is like, oh, crap. We got to go meet Major Force. This is going to suck. Okay, Pied Piper's dead. What are we going to do with his daughter? Let her go, and they're like, "No, we're professionals. Shoot her in the face." Mm-hmm. And they have this crime family has a metahuman. This is DC, so they call him metahumans.
Right.
Called Synth. His name's Synth. He's like 7 feet tall, and he's like a shapeshifter, but you don't know that right away. Actually, he kind of keeps that a secret. And his IQ flips from one day to the next. So one day, 24 hours, he's like ultra genius. He comes up with like all these dudes' plans, even though he's not the head. Yeah. He's basically their head planner. But then at midnight, 24 hours later, he gets like worse than somebody who's mentally handicapped. Like somebody who would not be able to. They say he forgets faces. So, like Alzheimer's level of decrease in IQ.
So what? Every other day he's got to have like a
babysitter.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
yeah,
that's exactly right.
That sucks.
Yeah. So we get a bunch of all the stuff that's not action is Kurt at the hospital.
I figured there's gonna be some of that.
So it's all the new people, or all the people talking to him. Oh, he's the new guy, whatever. Somehow nobody has noticed that he's supposed to be 20, 30 years older than he is. No, more than that.
Right.
Than he is.
Oh, he's a young doctor.
Yeah, he's also still supposed to be all ugly, and he's the other guy was 5'4" or something, and this dude's 6'1".
A big old difference. Mm-hmm. Also, didn't they say he was like 63, 65?
Bro, it's so crazy that nobody noticed quicker.
He looks 19.
So we get, like I said, we get a bunch of doctor's office stuff, or hospital stuff. Kind of boring. Mm-hmm. Then we jump to Green Lantern being told that Major Force is around. Or that Major Force was there. So,
he's a bad guy?
Yeah. So Green Lantern had some beef with Major Force. Major Force killed his girlfriend, maybe.
Right.
Somebody he loved is what he said. I didn't. It didn't say, and I didn't look it up.
Normally, how these things go.
Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, cool! I'm going to be able to get my revenge." And they were like, "Well, we learned Major Force actually died 4 months ago." And then he was like, "Wait, what? We just saw him." And they were like, yeah, no, but it was confirmed by multiple good sources that he's dead. And he was like, well, he got excited. He goes, cool, I'm going to be able to kill him. Because he got disappointed at first because he wasn't able to kill him. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, oh, he's happy. To kill
whoever this is.
Yeah, he was happy. He was like, oh, I'm actually happy he came back. Now I can get my revenge.
Okay, so I think he's come back.
So as they're telling him about Major Force, they show him Aztek and say, this is Major Force's ally. So they didn't understand what was going on. They don't know Aztek's a good guy. Mm-hmm. They think he's working with Major Force.
Oh, okay.
They think they're partners. And here's the part, I said it to you earlier. This is the part where they fucked up bad on somebody speaking off panel.
Yeah.
It's so bad. So Green Lantern comes in. Aztek's talking to a bunch of construction workers. Let me set the scene. He's on the top of a building. The top of a building being constructed, a high rise.
Okay.
And he's talking to construction workers, getting directions because he doesn't understand the city yet. He's only been here a week or something.
Right.
And like I said, it's like Gotham. They're building buildings on buildings on buildings.
Yeah.
He's
flying around?
Yeah, he flies around. So he's talking to him, and then I'm going to read it. They're just talking normal, and then it shows the construction workers, just the construction workers in green. In green. Like Green Lantern's like making a bubble around them. Uh-huh. So it goes, geez, what in the hell's name do you do that for? This is a weird way of saying it. And it goes, it's coming out of Aztek's mouth. It goes, this plasma bubble is mine, but don't panic. I'll have you free in a moment. That's supposed to be Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's Green Lantern.
But Green Lantern's off panel. So instead of pointing it the right way off panel or whatever, there was some
It's pointing to
miscommunication.
him.
It's coming right out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like it's showing that was what Aztek
I've come
said.
across some stuff like
So
that before.
dumb.
Where I'm like, oh, that's a screw up right there.
Yeah, and then there's another screw up between that panel and the next panel, and the pages are numbered, so the pages are correct. It goes from 10 to 11. In the next panel, Aztek is inside of a police car being carried by Green Lantern, and he's by himself. Meaning he was got in a bubble with all the construction workers.
Oh, and now he's by himself?
In a car that wasn't there. he like put him in, like went down and put him in the car. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, dude. It was just the jump between them. They messed up on the speech bubble, and then it was confusing between the panels. I'll just say that.
Yeah, right.
Because maybe they didn't mess up and I'm missing something, and I just couldn't tell or whatever.
Right, same crap I was talking about earlier. You just don't know what's going on sometimes.
So in this part, Aztek says an awesome thing. I'm going to read it word for word. It says, they fight a little bit at this point. Instead of just being in the bubble, Aztek and him fight for a second. And Aztek ends up grabbing the green ring off of Green Lantern.
Nice. That's cool.
And he goes, here he goes, good. Well, now, this is Aztek. Good. Well, now that we've passed the predictable fight superheroes are obliged to have when they first meet and establish the fact that I'm not a villain, maybe we can get down to business here. And I love that so much.
It's true, because it always happens.
Every single time.
Always.
It has to. They can't just meet and be nice originally. No. It does not happen. So he explains.
Especially then, 90s, it was fight for a minute, and then, we're both good.
Had to happen, no matter what. So now Green Lantern and Aztek are teaming up. They're trying to find Major Force. Mm-hmm. So we see the Pied Piper's daughter pops up at the cartel meeting or the organized crime boss family or whatever.
Right.
And she's like, I'm the new crime boss. And they're like, what the hell? Why are you alive? Like, Synth and them were supposed to kill you. What's going on? You better get out of here, because as soon as Synth gets here, he's going to murder you, blah, blah, blah. She goes, oh, yeah, you think so? And behind her is Major Force, and Major Force morphs into Synth.
Yeah.
So Synth was a shape changer or whatever.
I figured.
But most people didn't know he was a shape changer.
Yeah.
They just thought he had the IQ thing. Mm-hmm. They didn't think and was strong and whatnot, whatever. They didn't know he could shapeshift, which is genius to keep secret.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god. And so she's like, no, y'all are done. I'm in control. You can either work for me or I'm gonna murder you right now. And like as she's doing this, Aztek pops up and like just starts beating the crap out of Synth. And Green Lantern's like outside. So Aztek took point on this, which is crazy for a brand new 19-year-old superhero to take point on anything. So he goes inside and he fights a little bit, and then the cops and Green Lantern show up to round up all just the regular like mafia guys. And Aztek's fighting Synth for a while. And then Green Lantern's like, oh, you need help or whatever. And he knocks out Synth for a second. And they're like trying to take Pied Piper's daughter into custody. And Synth wakes up and it's 12:01. So his IQ's gone now.
Yeah, he's all dumb.
Yeah, and so he stands up and he knows when he started to stand up, he knew he needed to shoot the people in front of him. But his IQ like flipped on his way up, and he forgot who he needed to shoot, so he shot his girlfriend. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know if I expressed that. Synth and Pied Piper's daughter, and shoots her straight through the heart and murders her.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so like this comic's kind of dark. Like a lot of people die and whatnot, and like actually stay dead, which is really cool. I really enjoy that.
What a shit power, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like every other day, you come up with some genius shit, and then it's like, lock me in a room.
Yeah, it's almost like werewolf. It's
yeah.
almost like a werewolf type situation.
It's crazy.
This part's awesome at the end of this comic. They have a lot of cool like letters, forums, and stuff in this comic that were really cool, and like little extra tidbits like, oh, this is an entry from a journal of a reporter from Vanity City or whatever. This is the Federal Authority Registered Metahumans. And this is a form you have to fill out to be a superhero.
Okay.
And so, like, it says his name, secret identity. They said I didn't have to say. You explain what your powers are, what enemies you have.
Nice.
Is your outfit considered scandalous or sexual? Like, dude, it's just, it's really cool.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing.
I want to fill mine out.
Right. So that's only issue 2, and so I'm kind of actually gonna skip a whole bunch, but it's stuff that isn't gonna hurt the flow of the story. Like I said, it's a lot of hospital crap.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter at all. So this whole story, this whole issue is about a chick, Death Doll. Yeah, Death Doll, I remembered. She looks exactly like, what's the Mary Pox chick or whatever?
Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Mary, the Marvel Typhoid Mary. She looks almost exactly with the super pale skin and kind of like doll style looking face. This whole issue is her trying to kill Aztek. That's all that happens this entire issue. There's a little bit of love story in the hospital, which I do want to mention that because he's supposed to be 19 or whatever, and I don't know how old this nurse or doctor is supposed to be, but she's definitely quite a bit
not
older.
19.
No, but yeah, you can't be you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way. She attacks them while they're on a date. I'll say that. Death Doll attacks Aztek while he's on a date with the nurse lady.
Death Doll's kind of a cool name.
Yeah,
Band
and her
name, too.
actual look wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wasn't terrible. I thought it was cool.
Band name Death Doll.
She had like the big round circles on her cheek.
Like a doll?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I pictured her as like one of those 2000s, like the little drawings of like a girl with dark hair and the black thing around her eyes.
Oh, yeah,
and,
kind of.
like, big boots and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was less dark than that. She was wearing lighter colors, but yeah, same kind of idea.
That's what I pictured.
So this whole issue is... that was a whole issue that I just skimmed. This next issue is really cool. We get like a first real bad guy, I would say, who is basically the previous guy who should have been Aztek.
Oh,
that should have gotten the helmet and whatnot. He got in a fight, basically, an argument with the Q Corporation or Q Cult, whatever.
He got fired.
Pretty much. And he was partners with Aztek's dad.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was Aztek's dad came to Vanity City many, many years ago, obviously.
As Aztec?
No, they weren't the...
Okay,
they were just like undercovers, basically, at that point.
Got it.
Neither of them had the helmet or whatever. They weren't chosen yet or whatever. So they came here to wait for the serpent, because it's prophesied that the evil serpent's coming back to Vanity
So they don't know
City.
when the fuck it's
They're
showing up.
just posting up, bro.
We gotta have an Aztec. We gotta have him chilling.
Yeah, so they're chilling, and Aztek's dad falls in love with a chick, and that's how Aztek comes around. Because, like I said, they kind of just hang out in the mountains, kind of like hermits or monks when they're growing up.
Yeah.
So he had probably
Sounds awesome.
been around women or whatever until he got to Vanity City.
Sounds awesome.
So in this, we meet him. He's like I said, much older. He would have been right under the age of Aztek's dad. So he's not as old as Aztek's dad would have been.
Yeah.
But close. He's much older.
21.
I think he said he's 40.
Oh, shit.
So he's 40.
Okay.
So he's 20 years older. This whole issue is called The Lizard King, and that's what his name is. The guy that was prior almost Aztec or whatever.
Cool name.
Yeah.
So wait, he had powers other than the Aztec helmet?
Yeah, so like they were just like you remember as like peak human or whatever.
Yeah.
So they were badasses, and they would have technology and stuff, but not the same. It wasn't the interdimensional tech that the helmet provided. So they were like super spies.
Okay,
basically.
so already kind of a badass.
Oh,
He would have got the Aztec helmet and became a big old badass.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
he did not.
Like I said, they're kind of like Iron Fist or almost like a Doctor Strange type of thing.
Right.
You got to like
With a
earn
silly
the shit.
helmet.
Yeah, exactly. So the Lizard King abducts this isn't explained well. He abducts really good people, like very pure and innocent people, and then he hooks them up to some crazy ancient tech from the other dimension that sucks out all the goodness from their body, meaning all their niceness. It doesn't take the soul per se, but all their like happiness and sweetness.
Yeah, that's stupid.
He did it to a father and a daughter. The daughter is like 12 or something, like a kid, and they're like really good people. And he says that, and when he's like, I've never hurt anybody, why is this happening? He was like, that's why it's happening, because you're a good person.
Because
blah,
you're
blah,
a
blah.
good dude.
So like he like siphons all the like good stuff from him, and I think he uses it to help power himself up some more. But he uses the husks, what's left over of these people he siphoned all the good stuff out, and puts them into robots, like little mechs, like 12-foot tall mechs.
Oh, wow.
And then he sends them to attack Aztek at work, at the
hospital?
Hospital, yeah. So they show up to his hospital, and they like start fighting, and he has to turn into Aztek, and he fights him out. So he gets him outside, and he starts fighting him, and he's like whooping him, and he starts cutting one, and it screams, and he's like, what? And then that's when he realized, he opened it up and saw there was like a person in there. He thought it was just a robot or whatever. Or
Yeah,
like
right,
maybe
right.
like, you know, whatever.
He's like, I destroyed like 4 of those before I did
Yeah,
that too.
right.
Shit.
So this shows us another glimpse of the Q cult or whatever back in South America, and they acknowledge, oh, this is that guy. This is that guy. Like, we didn't know where he was or what he was doing, but
Y'all
it's an
remember
old
this
enemy,
guy, right?
yeah, or prodigal son type of thing. And so the Lizard King just calls Aztek, and he's like, hey, you suck. I'm supposed to be Aztek, or
Give me that
the
helmet.
chosen one. He goes, bring me that helmet.
Yeah, give me that helmet.
Otherwise, I'm going to kill your girlfriend.
It's
and he's
mine.
like, what? And he was like, yeah, I got your girlfriend here. If you don't come here and give me that helmet, I'm going to kill her. And he's like, oh, no, don't kill her.
I'm about to suck the goodness out of her, boy.
Right. Oh, he does. I'll just spoil it.
Oh, not her goodness.
Yeah, everything. She looks like a pink baby.
Oh, so it
At
actually
the
changes
end.
them?
Yeah.
I thought
Like
they
the
were just
other
like...
ones like shriveled up.
Oh, see, I thought they would
And,
just
like-
go. You said husk, though, so I
Yeah.
thought maybe something did happen. But I thought you just sucked it out, and they're like, I love you, and they're like, fuck you.
Yeah, no.
Like, that destroys them.
Yeah, so
Got
they're
it.
actually, they don't even curse still, because they still have, because their brain's still kind of there, just their goodness is gone.
It's
but they
weird.
still won't curse. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And, but he does lose control. He goes, I can do anything, and then starts really actually enjoying trying to kill him or whatever.
Oh.
So they did take all the goodness out. So Aztek just like pops up behind Lizard King. He's like, and then Lizard King does this crazy monologue where he's like, the way he speaks is so weird and jilted, and
Yeah.
like, I don't understand it. He keeps saying it's a death trap. It's a death trap. I don't know why I keep saying death trap. And like, just the way he speaks was really weird. So he's like, she's in there. You can't go in there. There's sensors in there that will blow up if you go in there with your helmet. You have to go in there without your helmet. Give me the helmet. I should be Aztek. They don't know, whatever. The chosen one. You're just a loser. I've been training for 40 years. You're a little kid. What did they expect you to do? And he's like, all right, man, here. And so he like hands over the helmet. And the guy's like, haha, I'm gonna kill you now because whatever.
Yeah.
So Aztek is like, I can still use all my equipment. I just have to use it manually. So he like uses like his like taser arm rockets or whatever, shoots it at the wall to get into the next room to save, I forgot her name, his girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, it's empty. There's no one in there or whatever. He's like, ha ha ha. Yeah, I tricked you or whatever. You're screwed. Actually, she's already gone. There's nothing left. You were too late anyway. So Aztek and him start fighting. And then the Lizard King, they kind of calm down for a minute. And the Lizard King gives him the full backstory of the Q Corporation. Not quite. This is the one word they didn't use. The Q cult or whatever.
Right.
Gave their true backstory, like what actually happened, because they told him most of what happened, but not them killing his father and all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that like they kind of suck now. They're kind of like worried about making money.
This shadowy organization.
Yeah, oh, who would have
is
thought? The
up to no
Quetzalcoatl.
good.
Yeah, they're supposed to fight the shadow serpent or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he kind of fills them in, and he's like, "Yeah, man, like I'm not actually the bad guy. Like they are. You're an idiot. I'm trying to save us. I mean, I am gonna have to kill you or whatever, but
I really
whatever."
need that helmet,
so he
though.
puts the helmet on finally after he has this
Surprised
conversation.
it took him so long.
It did. You know, he does the whole conversation.
Yeah,
and so
right.
they do the conversation. He puts the helmet on, and that's when he's like starts beating the crap out of Aztek, just absolutely destroying him, like breaking ribs, throwing him around. And this part's gross. He falls into a bunch of machines, and the hoses break and a bunch of red liquid comes out. He goes, "Oh, it tastes sweet or something," and he goes, "Sweet as joy." The chick's name was Joy.
Oh,
So like he says, "Sweet as joy." I think it's all the goodness juices that came out of her.
So it tastes good at least.
Yeah, right, or whatever. So so Lizard King keeps beating up Aztek, and Aztek's like, "Bro, you need to take the helmet off. Take the helmet off. I'm telling you, take the helmet off." He doesn't listen, and then he starts has like a stroke basically, and he just bleeds out, and his head kind of or his body burns out. He looks like a full-on...
Just went too hard?
Okay, so what happens is he didn't go through the final initiation like Aztek did.
Oh.
There's a big... They have to subliminally implant hypnosis stuff to keep the helmet from overwhelming your senses. Because the helmet contains the memories of all the previous helmet owners. And if you don't have the block, then it'll all hit you at once and burn you out, basically.
Oh, wow.
So he explains that to him right before he dies, basically. And that's kind of the wrap-up, honestly, of where I want to end it. Mm-hmm. I will say that the next issue has guest stars the Joker.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so the next...
Aztek versus the Joker?
Yeah, yeah. Joker comes to Vanity City. So let's do faces real quick.
This is our segment, How Are the Faces?
I really like the faces and the whole thing. Extremely expressive.
Turn it, let me see some of
this.
Yeah,
here's a good one, actually.
Yeah, let me see some good... Oh, okay.
So simple.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Not even super detailed.
Looks like DC.
But that, he's kind of doing the Joker smile there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Pretty large.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find another good face. Oh, here, come look at him all burned out. Yeah, here. I'm going to turn it some.
Oh.
Look. I'm all burned out.
Oh, okay. I like that, actually.
Yeah, I loved the art in it.
Yeah, it looks great.
I felt like it was a little ahead of its time. I know I said that once already, but it looked really good for 90s.
It has like a crisp cleanness to it that 2000s comics had.
It looks like really good Image comics from a little later is what it reminds me of. But yeah, the faces are dope. And then overall,
that was our segment. How were the faces?
Yeah, like I said, I think there's only 5 or 6 more. 6, maybe 7. There might have been 12. I don't remember.
Right.
It was a really quick read.
Yeah.
It wasn't quick to explain the whole thing, but it was quick to read through it. You don't need backstory.
Yeah,
I didn't need to fill you
yeah.
in on the world because it's DC. The city's new, so you don't know any backstory for the city.
Right.
So this is a great
Just
introductory.
be aware of Joker.
Yeah, you better be aware of Joker.
Yeah.
Even if you've literally never read a comic, you know who Joker
most people
is.
probably don't know Major Force.
No, very true, very true.
He looked like a Tylenol.
He looks so dumb.
He looked like an old Tylenol.
He looked like my badge in Halo 3. Because I used a capsule with almost the same colors.
It's red and dark red. Yeah. Or it's like orange and red,
orange and red, yeah.
So Lizard King sucked.
Yeah, Lizard King was a complete and utter asshole. There was no. So, he got the power from him or whatever, but because he needed the power to help fight Aztek or whatever. But he sent the husk. He could have just zapped him and then killed him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed extra.
Lizard King sucked.
Seemed way extra. And, he was trying to come from a place where, he legitimately thought
he was
the right one.
Yeah, they could have done it a little differently, but yeah, he sucked.
And then, like I said, the weird monologue, the way he spoke, the rest of the comic, he didn't speak weird. He spoke fine.
His ideas, his plans, everything.
Everything was convoluted as hell.
Yeah, he sucked.
And it was just not.
Aztek's thank God.
Right.
At least with the Joker, I'll have something will come together at the end.
Straightforward, at least. Right?
Somewhat.
Yeah. So this is, like I said, it was 96.
Yeah.
I would have been 10 when this came out.
Did you like it?
I did. I did like it.
Yeah. I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, because I'm always super fair, so I'm not gonna
you
know what I mean, dick ride too hard. But for it being a Grant Morrison, Mark Miller co-op, I thought the writing should have been better.
I forgot about that. Boo.
It was not good for that. For having a team up like that.
I was worried it was going to be a class project thing where they both kind of phoned it in.
Right.
I was kind of worried about that.
I wouldn't even say phoned it in. I don't know what happened.
Barely
because
tried.
it wasn't bad. I did like it.
Yeah, yeah.
There was just for having such giant names on it, I felt like some of the dialogue should have been better or whatever. But the story, and then some of the little story points, like people's plans being super convoluted.
Yeah, and silly.
But other than that, I liked even the hospital stuff. His interactions with people at a hospital. I skipped over it, but it was fine to read because it was broken up. It wasn't like just 10 pages of hospital crap.
Oh, right.
But yeah, and then because he's 19 and he never
That's weird.
interacted with people, so it's like he's real awkward. He seems like almost like he would be like autistic. People would probably think he has like Asperger's or something.
Yeah, well, because he's never been around anyone.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Even if he didn't have that, they might think.
Yeah, exactly.
He don't know how to talk to people. It'd be awkward. A 19, like no one's like, hey, he's very young. You know, he said his 96 or what 99. Said his favorite rapper was Eminem.
Yeah, this is 96.
Who is that? We don't even know who that is. That's some new shit right there.
Right.
This guy is young. Like he's supposed to be portraying a 60-something-year-old, or took a 60-something-year-old's job. That's just funny that within the first 5 issues, none of that came up.
Right, yeah.
Like no one stopped to be like, "Who are you?"
So I checked. It is 10 issues.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, I started saying it. I probably will read the last 5 because that's the whole thing.
Let me know if the last 5 issues, the
Well,
hospital
that's the
thing
entire
comes
thing.
up.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. I want to know if I'm correct on the dark feeling of the city being like a magic thing from the serpent.
Ooh, maybe.
That's why it's all like dark.
So
and
find
gnarly.
out the serpent thing, and then find out if anyone questions him.
If I finish it by next episode, I'll fill
There
you
you go.
in.
Bring it up.
Hell yeah. Do I diddy dum diddy do.
Song goes hard. I've been jamming a lot of oldies lately.
It really does jam harder than it has any right to.
So many of those oldie songs do.
Yeah.
Man. I freaking love that time.
I love that in Houston that we would slow shit down and whatnot, so that became a
oldies.
thing. Oldie slowed is so hard.
I had Under the Boardwalk slowed.
You showed me that. That was one of the first oldies slowed I heard.
I've had a way of slowing down my own songs, so I just did all oldies.
You were in the trailer.
Yeah.
That was
Sweet. I had a bunch of
So
dope
good.
songs slowed.
And I was really into slowed shit specifically at the time,
Mm-hmm.
more than I am
A lot
now.
of Outkast slowed, which went so
Roses?
damn hard. No, I did their first album, so it was Bombs Over Baghdad. I slowed that one down. That one was really cool.
They did that in a skate video. They had it
Nice.
in there, and then I don't know if it was they slowed it or they had a slowed version in it.
It jams.
Oh my God.
That specific song, Slow Down, jams. That one's dope. All right, man. So I got M. I thought I got E, but I had M.
We corrected the issue.
Yeah. So I found this one. It's called Moving Fortress. Let me get all this out of the way
Oh
real quick.
shit.
Moving Fortress. It was written by Ricardo Barrerio, illustrated by Enrique Alcatena.
Okay.
Yeah, this dude's pretty popular in the
Really?
80s. Yeah,
Okay.
80s and 90s. He did a lot of
The
big
Catania
shit
guy?
stuff we've seen.
He's an artist?
Yeah, do you remember the Batman where he put on like the pirate cowl? I forgot what it was called, but he did that one. He did a few
That's
other
a
Batmans.
semi-recent one, right?
No.
Oh,
It was
then
old,
no.
90s
Then I
stuff.
don't know. No.
But you've seen it before. If you saw the pirate Batman, you'd be like, I've seen that.
Okay.
So he did that one. So this was South American, I believe. So it's all in Spanish. So the American version was written by Ricardo Barrerio again, and then Charles Dixon, edited by Timothy Truman. Now, Timothy Truman is the dude who runs the Four Winds Publishing Company,
Okay.
which put this out.
Okay.
His idea was to let's grab stuff that's not in English and publish it
License it,
here
basically.
in English.
That's cool.
So that's what he did
smart.
with this
It's
one.
always smart, almost.
And they have their own comics, which I looked into another one. I think it is Timothy Truman's comic called Wilderness.
Okay.
Seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, despite the whole white savior thing, it's dope.
They have an art style, or is it?
I mean, it's 80s.
Oh,
so
okay.
This dude, Alcatena, definitely has his own style. Again, it's very distinct to him. So before I get into the story, the art in this is absolutely insane.
Let me see.
That's the walls of a city. So it has normal castle spires, and then it goes into a dude's torso.
Bro.
There is the whole comic is crazy, insane art. The people, there'll be skeletons, there'll be big Cyclops men. regular people. They're riding lizard chickens. The art in this is absolutely insane. The world is even crazier.
So with seeing one image, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
It's a manga. Can you guess which one I'm gonna say?
What?
Berserk.
Oh, does it?
It reminds me of Berserk. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's their wall around the city we get to introduce to later. Is their wall is a bunch of torsos of men.
It's amazing looking.
It's crazy, dude.
That's the first image you see, or is that just
there's a little welcome to Moving Fortress little blurb under it.
Okay.
Where they talk about it and how it's written.
But that's
and
the first
stuff.
thing you see.
That is the first thing. Not
That's
technically in the comic book, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
It's like in the before pages.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So it's insane. The world is scary. I don't like it. It's terrifying.
Wouldn't want to be there.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. So we start with our main character is named Basque de Gavreau.
Okay.
And I'm just going to call him Basque. He's
Yeah.
flying away in his airship. It's a balloon with a little cabin on it.
It looks dope.
Yeah, no, the art is cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's a mix of oh god, what's the Spirited Away guy? And the most famous
Ghibli?
Yeah.
Ghibli?
Yeah,
Studio
that
Ghibli?
guy. Yeah. It's a mix between that and Berserk. It's exactly what it is.
It's insane. So you'll see more when I get into it.
looks
So
amazing.
he's flying away on his blimp, his airship, talking about the baby didn't even look like me. So he got a daughter pregnant, and the king or whoever it is pissed. So he got in his airship and flew away. He's like, I'm going to the south. So he gets shot at by this giant moving fortress, and they actually shoot him down the second time. So the leader is like, go out there, basically take everyone who's still alive. So it shows this fortress, and it is a bunch of wheels. It's basically a castle with spires on top of a moving platform with giant smokestacks that are basically faces with wide open mouths for the opening. Giant wheels everywhere. Basically a moving castle. It is a moving fortress.
Oh man.
It is insane. Like, when y'all see this on the YouTube video, it looks incredible.
What is it, Mortal Instruments?
Yeah, I feel like they ain't got shit on this.
I mean,
this
it's
thing
the
is
same
cool.
idea.
And this came out in 88, which
Inspiration, Mortal Instruments definitely got some inspiration.
City of Bones, City of Engines,
It's Mortal Engines.
Mortal Engines.
Yeah, I said it wrong. Yeah, you're right.
Mortal Engines.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there was another Mortal something
You're
that
right.
came out around
You're
that.
right. You're right.
Young adult nonsense.
Yeah, they both kind of were. The one was supposed
No,
to
it's
be
exactly
more
what they-
adult,
yeah.
but yeah, they were for sure.
This one's very adult. So they
It
shoot him
looks,
down.
The aesthetics are adult.
It's insane. So they fire, they get him down with the second shot. They send him out there. This man rolls up on a lizard chicken legs with the lizard torso and
Like a
head.
ultra ostrich.
It's insane.
The ultra.
He rolls up and he's pointing a crossbow at him, and the dude's like, "Don't shoot. I know when I'm beat, and don't worry about it. I'm not trying to fight." So
Nice.
they put him
Smart.
on the horse, the lizard chicken thing.
Yeah.
And they take him in. Now, as soon as he walks in, they throw him in this hole. And when he gets up, there's these two men in basically like CDC type suits with a oxygen mask on
Right.
top and little bulbs for eyes and a little light on their head.
Yeah.
So basically it's black and white, but I can picture them being bright yellow.
Yellow. Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So they take him in and they're like, pick a suit that fits and let's go. And he puts the suit on. Now this has made me feel more than any comic I've done for this show has made me feel. But he's like, something smells like something died in this suit. And they're like, yeah, they did.
We have to recycle.
So it's
the suits.
unwashed. And he's like, it's like scraping against my skin like spikes. He's like, this is horrible. The only thing I can think of is when can I take it off? Every time they bring up this nasty suit, I just get so icked out.
Heebie-jeebies.
I've had to wear stuff for work. Whether it was some communal clothing or some jumpsuit
football,
or something.
when you're in football,
Yes,
and you don't have your own stuff.
It's
Oh my
disgusting.
god!
Or you forgot to wash your pants.
Sharing pads.
So you're putting on some dirty ass pants. It is disgusting. I hate
they
that
mold
feeling.
up immediately.
I hate it. So he's basically wearing a suit someone died in, and they never bothered to wash it or clean it. So he has to put that on. And he's like, "Where are we going?" They're telling him like, "Shut up, let's go." They introduce him to this big old bastard. He's wearing an all-black suit. He looks like some crazy sex gimp. And
he does.
he's like, listen, I'm in charge. Get to work, do your shit, and just learn that I'm a very impatient man. And he whips him. So he tells him to get to work. So the whole time he's in there, he's freaking out. He's like, I'm a slave in this crazy fortress. I was just trying to go south and chill. It's been like 2 months now that he's been doing this job. Oh, no, not 2 months yet. So he immediately meets this guy. His name's Bison.
Bison.
They end up becoming friends. Bison, yeah. They both have masks on. And he's like, hey, it's time to eat. Let's go. And he's like, oh, let me take this mask off. And he freaks out. He's like, no, don't take it off. And he's like, why? And he's like, it's basically poison down here. You can't take your mask off. And he's like, listen, though, this is our food. It's basically in hamster tubes with a little tube that hooks up to their breather. So they just have to eat liquefied food. So he's like, great, man, this is freaking horrible.
Just no fun.
So he's like, why can't I take this damn suit off? And he's working all day, no breaks, no eating, no drinks, just horrible conditions in this nasty suit. So he sees one guy's like, I need air. And he goes, oh, this guy's dead. Bison says, he was here before I got here, so this dude's screwed. And he's like, you won't need this. And he takes his mask off, and he's like, basically looks like a bubbly zombie
Return
looking.
of the Living Dead zombie.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Looks like a gross zombie.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says, thank you, I think. So he's on the way out. So Bask finally, he's like, why can't we be down here? What is the reason? Why do we have to keep this mask on?
What's the issue here?
He goes, true fantasy. He goes, what causes it? Well, the flameless fire, of course. So Amir Basilio, the dude who's in charge of this moving fortress, he snuck into the heart of the earth and stole the flameless fire. Okay. And it's basically like rocks and minerals that are just super poisonous and extremely volatile and powerful. Okay. And so he has this...
like uranium almost.
Yeah, he has this flameless... What is it? The flameless fire. And he says, you loaded it with your own hands this very day. It kills us all very slowly every time we enter that room. So the movie...
sounds like radiation.
Yeah, basically.
Flameless fire. Yeah, radiation.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the implication.
Yeah,
or insinuation.
Same
right.
thing.
So the fortress trudges on. It's showing crazy landscapes. There's like these weird Asian alien looking rock things.
I love it, dude.
Is crazy.
Holy crap. It gives you a vibe like a mother.
80s
you know what I mean?
Fantasy just to the max. If you think your shit's
gnarly
crazy,
vibe.
this dude went harder.
No, not even. The vibe is very prevalent throughout the entire thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the entire thing. So he goes, yeah, we're traveling through the desert. Anyway, above me into the highest towers, and in those rooms is where the Emir Basilio exists. And someone, his little general guy is like, hey, Basilio, and the Emir, it's like his title. I thought his name was Emir, but I think he's the Emir Basilio.
That is a title.
So he's like, there are airships approaching. And he goes, okay, to battle stations, basically, let's go. So these freaking blimps pull up, and they are just the ugliest, most disgusting, crazy-looking blimps ever.
Dude shark goldfishes.
It
so
looks
their faces
like
are fat baby.
Remember the baby from, like, what is it, Total Recall or something, where it was in someone's stomach? Maybe it was Running Man.
Total Recall had
or Time Cop. One of them.
No, Total Recall had the
nasty
stomach
baby
guy.
Yeah, so that's what he looks like. That's what some of these blimps look like.
Yeah,
and there's a shark with a human face. They're just insane.
They're gross.
Yeah, they're very gross. So big fight happens. He's like, Amir, we have ground forces as well, and it's not a tank. It's a tank on top of a dinosaur. So these dinosaurs are rolling up with tanks on their backs, shooting at the wheels, and these nasty, gross airships are attacking from the top, right?
That's awesome.
So shit's going down. He says, destroy the airships and they'll retreat. Big fight happens. So now that in the engineer room where Bask is, it's going crazy. And Bison is like, we need to get out of here. Let's get out of this room. So they go to the top, and that big fucker, the gimp dude,
with the like
slave dude in charge,
leather clothes.
He stabs Bison. And Bask freaks out and he rips his mask off. And he actually like picks him up like Darth Vader does the Emperor. And he's like, he says, die, pig, or some shit. Throws him in a big vat of that nasty stuff that's killing everyone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So dude is just gone. So he rolls out, and as soon as he gets to the top of the stairs, there's a man standing there, and he goes, he says, don't just stand there looking stupid. Help me load this cannon. So Bask is able to take his mask off, and he's now a cannoneer, and he's with this dude named Cromwell just blasting these airships out of the sky.
Cool.
Big fight happens. He actually does a really good job. They defeat everyone. The Yathorian,
2 word.
No, one word. Yathorian.
Yathorian.
Those were the people that attacked in the airships.
Okay.
And he said, we've
Ugly
defeated
baby
all the
airships.
Yathorian forces.
Okay.
So now they're repairing, and he said, tell the engineers to keep moving. So he's talking to this dude, Cromwell, and he's like, yeah, it looks like I'm due for a promotion. He's like, oh, yeah, man, you're great. We can't have you down in the freaking engine room dying. Like, we're going to have you up here. So now he gets to rock regular clothes.
Nice.
Walks around shirtless most of the time.
Yeah.
And he's a semi-handsome dude with long black hair. And the faces, I'll just do them now. How are the faces?
How are the faces?
They're incredible. Just like all the rest of the art, they're crazy. Insane faces. They're very 80s. You got 80s hairstyles.
Yeah.
90s hairstyles.
Mullets,
This
teased
looks
up.
like if the Nazis would have won in the 90s. That's what this world and everyone looks like. That's like the way they dress is insane.
Huh,
Their
okay.
hairs, it just is insane.
Okay.
It's like if casinos in the 80s took over the world. It's just
Okay.
weird characters
Okay.
everywhere, weird things everywhere. It's
Yeah.
just an insane, scary world, and I hate it. So he becomes a cannoneer. He marches on. The fortress rolls on for like months and months. He's talking about seeing things. He's like, I could only imagine the stuff out there. Now I'm actually seeing it from a pretty high position. I see it from a balcony. This is nice. He's
Okay,
enjoying
yeah,
it now.
right.
So and as he's looking out in the desert, there's these like lizard dudes with staffs kind of trudging along, going to do something.
Damn.
So he basically, him and Cromwell are sitting there and they're chiefing this stuff called Rur. He goes, I love the smoke from Rur. It's R-U-R-H.
Brr.
Some Rur.
Brr.
So they're smoking dope. We'll just say that. They're smoking something. They're getting stoned. And he goes, will they attack us again, Cromwell? And he goes, no. Freitas, the warrior god, will wait behind his walls. And Bask is like, oh, the warrior god, I know him. And he's like, oh, you really don't know this whole reason for this war of ours, do you? And he's like, I have no idea. So a while ago, years and years and years ago, the emir threw a party in his palace. This is before the moving fortress. He invited Freitas, the warrior god,
Okay.
the leader of Yathorian,
Okay.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yathor. I have no idea. Crazy fantasy nonsense. So he invites them over. They're all partying. Weird shit going on everywhere. People in crazy costumes dancing. And this is what I meant about the Nazis and casinos and shit. Just that's where our world would have went if some weirdos would have won.
Yeah, I don't know how else you would describe it.
It's insane. So, like, this dude looks like Coolio. They're all wearing crazy clothes, crazy hairstyles. They're just getting down, partying. So the emir notices this Freitas god warrior dude just chilling. He's like, what's up, man? You're not entertained? You're not having fun? He's like, dude, I'm a warrior. None of this shit interested me.
Right.
You got good wine, though. And he's like, oh. Emir says, just wait. You will be struck with beauty as soon as you see this next thing. So this woman walks out, and he was like just talking about his wife. He was like, I'm going to marry this girl. So as soon as her and Freitas see each other, they're like, we're in love. So Freitas is like, no, fuck that. I got to have her. So he leads a group of men, like he goes himself, sneaks into the castle, kills a bunch of dudes, gets in basically unchecked, picks her up, and she just in his arms, and they just roll out. And they head all the way to his home where he rules. I don't want to say it again. Yath.
Yeah, I gotcha. The
So,
weird word.
The emir rolls up with like these weird tanks that are like horse things. They shoot out of their mouths, and they're like steam powered or maybe mineral powered.
it's
I
kinda
don't
like
know.
a griffin.
Yeah. And so he attacks them, and because they have those weird torso leg walls that are just basically giant dudes, they can't break through the walls, and they get properly screwed up. So they have to roll out. Now, the Emir, Basilio's like, it's over, man. My wife's gone. I'm just going to go home, whatever. I'll find someone else, right? These 4 strangers pop up, and they're like, hey, man, we got a good idea. There's a glowing mineral from the ranges in the east that has immeasurable energy, basically enough to propel a great fortress through the desert and equip yourself with like the most powerful weapons in the world. And you're going to turn that his home into dust, man. So the Emir basically follows their plan like to a T. And 2 years later, they have this giant moving fortress, and he's headed straight to Freitas to go get his wife back.
Oh, nice.
So now that's where they saw him on the way, shot him down, and now he's just part of it, right? So they finally roll up on, what are they actually? Yathros. There we go.
Okay.
It's not completely dumb. So he's like, the final battle begins. Yeah, right? So Freitas is chilling on the wall. He's looking at this moving fortress coming towards him, and he's like kind of excited. He's like, yeah, this is going to be dope. This is going to be a dope-ass fight. He's the warrior god. He likes to fight.
Right. It makes sense.
And he even comments, he's like, I wonder if he's had enough time to actually enjoy his wife. And he's like, well, these warrior dudes, he's like, they probably have. We're probably like, all right.
He took the time.
It's time to fight and die. I was with her for 2 years, so he's cool with it. He's ready to fight.
Right.
So they start getting everyone ready. They tell Baskia, watch the sky. The blimps are coming. And these nasty-ass blimps roll out again.
Oh, damn. Those look worse than the first? Holy shit, they look worse. Oh.
It's a big face, and out of the mouth of this face are a bunch of other faces.
Little faces, yeah.
Oh, it's insane.
It's
so
gross. It's actually gross.
Big fight starts now. They're not close enough to the walls yet, so they're just dealing with the airships. And they say the War Eagles are going to be here soon, right? So they're shooting down airships. Now these War Eagles roll up, and they can get super close to the moving fortress. So this one basically swoops down and attacks Bask like in touching distance. So Bask flips out. He can hear the wings flapping, and he tells them to get the musketeers because they have eagles. So he needs the musketeer guys to come deal with them.
Okay.
So he ends up fist fighting this guy who pulls him off his bird. And this dude looks like a skeleton. There's his face right there. Looks like an Asian zombie, basically. But this is like regular. This is what his race of people look like.
That's
This
just how
world
they
is
look.
fucking terrifying,
wow.
dude. And I hate it. So I don't know what he is. A ghoul, a regular dude, back from the dead. I have no idea.
Yeah, that is
and it
weird.
scares me.
It's weird.
So he fights him. He actually kicks the shit out of him. Now, Cromwell's got shot in the shoulder with one of the arrows from that bird riding guy.
Okay.
So he's fighting this bird riding dude. They scrap, and then Cromwell pops up, and he's like, I'm not dead, and kills him. He's like, I still have my other arm. So, dude, the musketeers show up, and this guy is wearing the dopest outfit I've ever seen in my life. Those are the baggiest pants. I want them. I love the hat.
Bro.
I love all of it. I love the rope around the wrist and arm. It is the coolest fucking outfit I've ever seen in my life.
Jinkos wish they could be that big.
They're so huge. I want to go as this guy for Halloween. So bad.
Where not one single person in America
No one
would
will
guess.
know.
Not one person.
No one will know who I am, but I will.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
what's
want this
important.
outfit. I would walk around my house rocking this.
Bro.
And look, he's got a sword
How
down
do you
there.
move with them pants on?
Like a
You
G. You don't?
You
Yeah.
just don't.
Well, apparently, man, I mean,
I
he's,
see him.
he's
He
killing a bunch
moving.
of birds
Yeah,
and
what
stuff.
the
So
hell?
they take care of the eagles in their dope ass clothes. And Bask is now taking care of the airships. They're straight. So the general telling the Emir, hey, we've taken a lot of damage. We need to get away from their walls because they're close enough now that the Yathros walls just destroying them. Because no one can penetrate their giant torso walls.
They got like artillery or something like that?
Yes, a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah.
So they're fortified as hell, and
Yeah.
enough to keep this fortress at bay and destroying it in the process. So they back out, they get away from the wall enough to do repairs. So they call Bask and they're like, hey, come talk to the Emir. We need to talk to you. You're the pilot, right? And he was like, yeah. So he's like, listen, man, in the attack, all my ships are gone. I have no pilots left. They all died. Everyone was killed. You're the only one here that knows how to fly. I need you to roll with me.
Yeah.
So he basically is like, yeah, I don't know. I know when to argue and when not to. So yes, sir, I'll do that. So him and 20 of the Emir's own Imperial Guard are on this ship sneaking in to Yathros in the middle of the night, right?
Okay.
So undercover, they're sneaking in. They land, and Emir and all his men just attack like freaking dogs. They're just going crazy. They're killing everybody, dude. Everyone in some goofy-ass outfit is getting taken down. So they get to the throne room, and now I talked about goofy outfit. Look what this fool, he looks like, I don't know what he looks like.
Gay
man.
Zorro?
A gay Zorro pirate? Yeah. It looks like black leather with like a black do-rag.
It's almost Zorro, but not quite.
And he has,
It's a little more bondage than regular
I was going to
Zorro.
say a BDSM Zorro.
Yeah, that's a good...
There you go.
It's a better description.
And
yeah.
Freitas is over there rocking a dope-ass robe.
It's
He
like
looks
a
great.
giant kimono, like exaggerated kimono.
Oh, very exaggerated. All the
Yeah.
clothes are definitely
Yeah.
exaggerated.
Yeah.
Except for the Emirs. His are pretty tight and definitive. So they're scrapping. Emir basically almost gets him, but his Freitas's the girl, sorry. His wife comes up and she's like, no, don't. And it distracts him for a second that Freitas General comes in and shoots Emir. So he actually gets shot, and now they're trying to get out of the city without getting killed. And I think it was only like 5 of them that made it to the ship. So they took off. They're heading back to the fortress, and they said by the time they reached the fortress, the Emir's like guts were coming out of his armor. Yeah. So he's dying. They said like, man, his hatred is the only thing keeping him alive.
Yeah, that shit happens for real.
So they get in there, and one dude kind of pulls Bass to the side, and he's like, listen, man, this isn't your war. Thanks for the, flying us there, but you can take that ship and get out of here if you want. And he was like, yep, say less, I'm out. And he was like, before they could change their mind, I was fucking out of there. So he's flying away, and as he's flying away, Emir drives his fortress straight into the walls of Yathros.
I like that.
And the Basque is saying he's miles and miles and miles away, and he can see the explosion and feel it because that volatile minerals that was powering the fortress explodes
uranium
and destroys the entire fortress and the entire city in one giant explosion. So he's just flying away. The blimp like kind of gets turned around and tossed around by the shockwave.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of is, he's like, now my children, it is late and the fire grows cold.
Is that...
Let an old man light his pipe to loose himself once again in the ghosts that disappear through the smoke. Alas, there will be more stories to tell, and that's the end. So the Hispanic guys that created this, they did a second book, but I could not find it anywhere. It exists, but no one has it.
It's not in English, or
I don't think it was in English. No,
that's probably why we can't find it.
So something happened with this Four Winds before they got to the second book.
Right.
But they said it's even crazier than this one. I can't imagine how terrifying that fucking book is, because the writing was so simplistic, but it didn't
straightforward
feel like simplistic. It wasn't like this is for children. The story never got complicated or convoluted. It was easy to follow. The things that happened were insane, but within the realm of what they've presented in the story already.
Yeah, it makes sense in that world.
Already.
That's dope.
That's what I thought. So the story was great. Like I said, the universe terrifies me. I would never want to be there at all.
It sounds terrible.
It sounds gross and dingy.
Everything is gross.
It was, right?
It's all humanoid this, humanoid that.
Crazy
Fucking
animals.
gross.
Dude, that's only a fraction of that world that man created.
Yeah, like biological technology seemed like a thing.
Probably
like,
could
most
be.
Most of their technology looked like animals or was shaped like, biological beings. They didn't have a bunch of wheeled vehicles is what I'm saying.
Exactly. And they didn't have they didn't present any actual magic. So who knows what actually exists in that world. You know what I mean?
Like magic was kind of implied in their weird ass technology.
Somewhat. Yeah, exactly. So who knows if there's more magic, different kinds of magic out there.
Because they definitely don't mention it.
No, they don't talk about it at all.
What you said.
And like we only see it from his point of view because he gets stuck on this fortress, told what's happened, and then gets to deuce out before everyone dies.
Right.
So that's why he gets to have more adventures. But he was just kind of like a background character to this huge story that was happening.
Right.
He was an engineer and then a cannoneer, and then he flew him on his suicide mission to kill this man and his wife or whoever, or take his wife back, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Don't look like none of that worked out for anybody. Literally everyone died.
Yeah.
Except Basque. Literally everybody.
Yeah.
Millions. It was a cool story, man. But like I said, the universe.
The aesthetics were absolutely amazing. Like just oh
insane.
my god.
I cannot wait to show Adam these pictures of this shit that I read.
Jesus, I know you had to hold it in.
Oh yeah, I didn't say anything.
All you said was it's dope.
I said it was insane.
Yeah, you said it was insane, and you said it was dope. That's it.
That's fair, right?
As far as you went. Yeah, that's as far as you went.
It was a cool story. Insane world. Absolutely insane world.
Yeah.
If you think your fantasy was high or turned up or dark or whatever, go to this world.
You felt like you're original and go read this shit.
I mean, but like, don't you feel like you would see an 80s comic with some crazy fantasy, like crazy sci-fi
written
too?
in the 80s, that is like I said it about mine, but it feels ahead of its time. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, it does, because I've seen them go, and it feels like they're going too hard, like they're trying to make it crazy.
Yeah.
This didn't feel like that.
It just was.
This was like, hey man, I got this idea for a world, and people are gonna love it, and it's gonna fit in the story. But all these other ones I see that are like super intense, they're trying so hard to make it
they had
crazy.
To make it that way.
Exactly.
Instead of it happening to be that because the story is whatever. Like,
there's a difference in it, and like I see them trying
instead of pushing. Yeah.
But those, I still don't feel that those are as crazy as that world that I just read about.
Right. Yeah.
That world is insane.
They're not as well executed, that's for sure.
Very true. Maybe it's just a better story, so it's you're more into the story. Actually, you're more enveloped by it to be like, everything makes sense. This all works. I get it, because
even though everything's crazy, I understand what's going on.
Exactly.
That's
right?
important. That's very important.
I would love to see more shit in that world. I want to read their second comic.
Yeah.
And I probably never will.
No.
But it would
Get
be
on
cool
the Spanish
too.
internet or whatever.
I could have someone read it to me. I could have the talk to speech, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Just
Google translates a lot better than it used to be.
Oh, it's still pretty bad, though.
I think you could, if you wanted to pay a few bucks, I know you can get an actual translation app type thing and read internet pages that are completely in other
I want a dude. I want a dude to read it to me. Yeah, I do. I want a dude to read it to me.
Oh, that's what you want. Oh,
yeah,
my bad.
like I want a real translator to
That
come
makes
over
sense.
and read it to me.
What was it? Do you know what the language was? It Spanish?
Yeah, it's definitely Spanish.
So, Stuart's brother, is his job.
Oh, really?
He's a Spanish to English translator. Yeah.
Call him up.
Hit him up.
Hit him
He'll
up.
ride his longboard on over here.
Bing, bang, boom.
You motherfucker. God damn, how'd you know?
Bing, bang, boom.
Bing, bang, boom.
This is our segment, Matt versus Adam. We take a random character generator online, see who would win between who he gets and who I get.
Yep.
So we got Marvel, DC, cartoon, and video game. I believe we're doing video game today.
That's right.
All right, so here we go.
Do the search, guy.
Mega Man?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a cool one. Powerful.
You just push it once. I pushed it twice.
It says Samus.
No, I know, because I had to push it.
Ah, shit.
Who'd you get?
Donkey Kong.
Earth. Mega Man versus Donkey Kong?
Yeah, so I'm telling you right now, you won, but it would be a cool fight. God damn it. Because we literally do the exact same shit, except you can shoot stuff and upgrade and have a dope suit. We both platform all crazy. We both can run around.
I stay with some weapons.
Your bad guys are way more hardcore than my bad guys. My bad guys are giant rhinos, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, dude.
So
I was starting to pull away again.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was.
It's 17-16.
Oh, I thought it was 17-15 or something.
No, because I won one of the other ones.
Yeah, you had caught up like a mother.
Yeah, exactly.
God
I
damn
fought
it.
for that. So
I'm not even looking up Donkey Kong
So
because I know his stuff.
I'll do it then. The arena here is downtown Houston,
Thank
just
you.
2 blocks of regular downtown Houston. He's out doing something, I'm out doing something. We see each other, and it's fight on sight. So I do have Mega Man. So I have enhanced strength, enhanced speed, enhanced durability, absolute stamina. Oh, shit, we saw it
Somebody
again.
used absolute.
Enhanced reflexes, gun protrusion, gross, power replication, master hand-to-hand combatant, mega buster, and special weapons. Which we can assume I don't have all my weapons on us. I do have some guns, I'm sure, that are kind of built into me, right? But
Yeah.
Regardless,
Yeah.
And this is original classic Mega Man because it didn't say anything. It just said Mega Man.
Yeah, even first number 1 Mega Man is a nightmare.
Yeah, right?
Just absolutely destroy.
You looking up Donkey Kong?
Yeah, it's not helping too much actually.
I'm not trying to...
Superhuman strength, superhuman agility. It's almost they just use different adjectives.
Yeah, so I know.
Hand-to-hand combat prowess, producing powerful sound waves, experience in fruit-based firearms and explosives. That's pretty cool. Intelligence for an ape.
It
Great.
just says... it doesn't even say
hi.
hi.
They fucked up because it's a wiki. Hypnotic immunity. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
Even though that has nothing to do with you.
I might be
Expert
able to-
musician. Jesus Christ.
So-
why were you like, oh, it's closer than you think?
Because it's superhuman. I only have enhanced strength. So I don't know, like I
like I said, it's a wiki, so the terminology isn't going to be congruent between each entry.
True. I
So-
mean, I think my bad guys are more hardcore, but you fight these
Your
giant
bad guys
animals.
are more, but you can't even compare our bad guys. I fight animals basically.
But like crazy animals.
Yeah, I
that are
guess
pretty strong.
bigger than the normal size because I'm supposed to be a giant ape and they're way bigger than me. But besides that, they're just like floating animals and stuff. Somebody actually did that matchup.
Yeah.
Was it? I want to hear it. Let's see. Who's it from first?
It's a wiki. It's just
Okay.
a DBX fanon wikia.
Okay, Wikia.
Wikia.
Yeah, yeah.
It says Mega Man versus Donkey Kong is Peep for Life's 228th DBX. I don't know what that
What?
means. Season 16, Episode 3, Mega Man versus Donkey Kong. 2 absolute classics of the video game universe can duke it out. So no rules, just bloodshed.
They're talking about a video, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's some seasonal thing that someone has.
Okay.
It says the winner is Mega Man, but
Yeah.
they're saying it's a good fight. But they're like breaking it down. Like Mega Man throws a sticky bomb at DK. It caught his chest, but the
That's
ape
cool.
had different. Yeah, they like break it all down.
That's
but
really cool.
Seems the consensus
It's like
is
Deadliest Warrior style. That's cool.
right. So I mean, yeah, consensus says Mega Man. But dude, I don't know. That seems like a better fight to me than just.
Oh, I mean, if we're going percentages, I wouldn't say it's a blowout, but I knew.
You're super strong.
Yeah, all that stuff, but I swear to God, it's just the terminology between them that's messing you up because you are definitely super strong.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm superhuman.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
You're a video game protagonist. Almost all video game protagonists are some of the strongest characters
True.
in fiction.
So are the guns what's putting me over?
So like, you get like all these different kinds of weapons, and like I think you get different suits as well or something. So like throughout the game, you have to like get an upgrade to your gun to be able to beat certain bosses and stuff.
Okay.
So you get a flip through, you get a giant a catalog of weapons that you can use eventually. And like I said, you're fighting like really badass robots.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Like
Big robots
advanced
too, yeah.
technology and shit. Yeah, and you're just dominating.
Okay.
And you can hack stuff. So, like, I mean, like, we're on the street and you're, like, a cyber guy. You could, like, hack a Tesla to run into me. You know what I mean? Stuff
Right.
like that.
Right. So it's not just going to be a drag-out fight. I'm going to be shooting and
That's
keeping
why
away from you.
It said that I have skills with fruit guns. What's it going to do to a cyborg?
But you're probably not carrying. Yeah, right.
What's it going to do to you? You
I
have
mean,
real
maybe
guns.
coconuts would hurt.
It'll give you a little bruise on your nose.
Maybe, yeah.
But
Because I'm all
lasers.
armor.
Yes, you're covered. Except for the most important part, your face, like always.
Always.
But,
and I'm slicing fruit. right? I'm just like lasers slicing fruit, saving it for later after I kick that ass.
Yeah, and like I'm just thinking of like the first Mega Man, because like if you added together all
Mega Man X and
all
stuff.
it would just be endless power.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
you could kind of say the same thing for Donkey Kong.
I mean,
a little bit.
I feel like it's keeping away from you. I feel like if I get in your range,
the distance, you're done.
Do percentages.
I'm done. 60-40 at the max.
Yeah.
Meaning the best I could do is 40.
Right. Okay. So I feel like, yeah, if I was in your range and you could get a hold of me, there's a chance you could. If you're superhuman, you might be able to rip his little head off.
Like I said, 60-40 is not even that bad of a percentage towards me.
But you're no, it's not at all.
It's not.
But you're also a naked gorilla with
and
no
who's
armor.
Only so smart. It says intelligent for an ape.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it just said intelligence.
Yeah,
not high.
They didn't write it correctly.
They just
but
wrote,
it meant high intelligence for.
You're
an
just
ape.
not an ape, which
So
apes are already intelligent. So
yeah, compared to other animals, they are.
yeah, for sure. So, one shot from my laser arm kill you?
I would say no, but I would
5 shots.
Something, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So like, more than one.
He's not in his games. He's never a one-hit death in Donkey Kong.
Right.
He's got the like little like hearts or whatever. He's got a little life bar.
Yeah.
So he like just in universe.
But again, he's getting stung by bees and
exactly
getting
that's what I
barrels
mean.
thrown
You would
at him.
definitely be able to kill me. I'm just saying I wouldn't think it would be a one shot.
No. Okay. So
maybe your last upgrade for your gun at the end of Mega Man 1 or something, that one might be able to one drop
the
BFG or something.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I feel if I could stay out of your range and you have no armor, you're just using cars to block and you're probably chunking cars at me. But if I can get you shot more than twice.
A few times,
you're probably going. But I feel if you could get through my shots and get your hands on me, you're probably winning.
I feel like they kind of portray Mega Man as short. In the like original
small,
ones.
Right?
Like his
that's gonna make it harder for you.
His sprite always looked kind of like mushed down.
It did
until the Mega Man X series. They made him a little taller.
Started fixing the scale.
Made him a little, more proportional.
Yeah, because he did look tiny in this giant big world, but the bad guys were always like in a ship
oversized
or in a robot, so they looked big, but they were just regular people too. Who's the other guy? Zero, isn't he from Mega Man? Zero?
Yeah. There's a couple other.
He's not big either.
Good guys from the series.
I remember him
they
like one of those.
Chick that's red and she's got like a sword.
Saber. No, I have no idea. All right, so yeah, I'll trust you. I'll take that win.
Yeah, you won.
I'll take that win.
Sure.
It's 17-17.
Yeah, holy shit.
So I don't know, man. If y'all think the fight would go down differently, hit us up.
I'd love to hear it.
Because you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. New episodes release every Monday on all podcast platforms and YouTube as well.
Comment on the YouTube videos.
Yeah, you know what? Do all that internet stuff.
Hey.
That if you want to help the show out, that's the best way to do it is like, subscribe,
interact.
All that stuff, rate and review on any site you listen to us. All that stuff helps out a lot. So if you've done that, we appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just listening, we also appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we do it. And I've read some really cool stuff from this.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready to pull some letters?
Oh shit, yeah, I forget every time.
I redid them, everybody. So
fixed it. You told him at the beginning.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I made sure I wrote neat. And now,
it's okay. I'm going first.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. There's so few left already.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
We get to do 13 episodes before we start over.
Is that an E?
Oh my god.
Bro, how do you... Bro,
it's a G.
G. That makes more sense.
Okay.
It looks like a G.
I tried. My G's are pretty bad, though.
I get it now.
I should have connected.
I looked at it weird.
Connected.
I looked at it weird.
Freaking. Oh well.
Now that I know it's a G.
I got an N.
N. Cool.
N and G.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go ahead and write that down now.
Let's see what Half Price has to offer.
I'm finishing next town over. I'm not. I'm just kidding. All right. So that's the episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. So y'all have a good one.
Bye.